All right, I'm going to show you something real quick. I need to modify this entire section in all of the files in my blog post. I'm just going to select the entire thing. Now I'm going to type here leader SR. It is going to open this plugin. And now here I can specify what do I want to replace it with. So in the replace section, I'm just going to replace it with something else. I'm just going to type here Discord server. That's going to be the heading. And I'm just going to type here something just to give you an example. I no longer have a Discord server. If I scroll down here a little bit, you're going to notice that it's being replaced in all of the markdown files. 38 matches in 38 files. And I'm just going to replace it. I'm just going to type here leader R. Well, it's not leader. It's this key, which is backslash and then R. So let's see what happened. I'm just going to close out of here. You can notice that the changes were applied. Let me bring up LazyGit. We're going to confirm if the changes were applied on each one of the files. Notice that the heading didn't change. Actually, it was just the contents. So if I scroll through all of these changes, you're going to notice that they have been applied, right? So I don't want to apply all of these changes right now. This was just a test. So I'm just going to discard all of them. And now I'm back to where I was. Let me give you another example. I have a lot of different links in my blog post. And one day I needed to add this to the end of each link. How did I do it? Let me just copy this expression. And I'm just going to open the plugin again, leader SR. I'm going to paste this here in the search bar. And I'm going to come back here to the left side. I'm going to copy this, move to the right side, paste it there. And notice what happens. I'm just going to disable wrapping, leader UW. Notice what happens here on the right-hand side. Here I can see where this is being added in all of the different files. And this is actually something that I want to do in my blog post. So we're going to do it in this video. I just want to apply all of these changes to my posts directory. So if we come here to the left, you're going to notice that if I want to replace only certain files in a subpath, I'm just going to grab this here and I'm just going to paste this in the files filter. So I'm just going to replace that there. And notice that now only the stuff in the posts directory is going to be replaced. But let's say that I don't want to replace the stuff shown in this file because I actually don't want to. I just want to do the other files. I'm just going to select this and I'm going to delete it just like in a regular buffer. Just going to delete this extra line here. So now I'm just going to make sure that it's going to replace things correctly. I do see here that this is looking good. I don't see that I'm missing spaces or something like that. So yeah, this replacement is actually looking good. Since I deleted some stuff, if you remember, I deleted the first result that showed up here. I need to do a sync instead of a replace. If we look here on the left-hand side, replace only certain items, you're going to notice that I left some instructions here. In this specific case, since I deleted stuff from the results, I need to do a local leader S or \S. You just need to keep in mind that this sync all does not work with multi-line replacement. And ast-grep only supports replace. So let's give it a try then. Just going to move to this side then. And I'm just going to type here this and S. Sync completed in 60 seconds. Let's just make sure that it did happen. Just going to close out of here. And I'm just going to bring up LazyGit. And let's see if the file that I excluded was modified. What was the name of that file? I don't remember. Let's see. This is the file. It had CCC in its name. And we're going to notice that we don't see this file in the list here as well. But I do see all of the other files. In case you're wondering, why do I add this target blank option? That is because when you click on a link on my blog post, if I add this, it's going to open that in a new tab. So I'm actually going to push all these changes right now. Just going to create a new commit, all the files, commit. So this is my commit message. I'm just going to accept it and I'm just going to push these changes. Fast and simple. This is something else that I needed to do some time ago. I needed to add a specific text at the bottom of each one of my files. Let me show you. I'm just going to bring the plugin back, leader SR. That's the key that I have configured. Now I'm just going to search for this here. And I'm just going to add this in the replace. Notice that this has to be a multi-line. I left the code here. You can copy it and paste it here under flags. If you don't want to type that, you can also type -U. That is for multi-line. Same thing. Notice that I have to switch to the Lua interpreter. So I'm just going to type here local leader X. Notice that it's returning the exact same file. but it's adding this line at the bottom of each file. We can see that at the bottom of this archives.md file, so it's working as expected. If we scroll down, we're going to notice that it's also happening to this tags.md file, and the same thing is going to happen with all of the files. Let's look at this. It returns the entire file, but notice that it adds this at the very end of it. So I'm just going to run this local leader R, but I'm not going to push the changes. I just want you to see that it works. Let's scroll to the top of the file. Notice that it replaced completed in 7 seconds. I'm just going to exit out of here. Now let's look at the file. If I go to the very bottom of this file, we're going to notice that the line is there. If I bring up LazyGit, we're going to notice that it has been added to the bottom of each file. So notice that I can see that here, and seems to have worked just fine. I'm just going to discard all these changes because I don't want to push them. Discard all changes. Before I continue and before I forget, I just want to thank the supporters. I have them all listed here. YouTube membership, this YouTube Ko-fi membership, super chats, and also these Ko-fi one-time donations. So I just want to say thanks to each one of you. Really appreciate the support. And also there's something else that I wanted to cover here. I have it under this section. Oh yeah, just keep this in mind. Track your files because you're gonna mess things up. It has happened to me. So the only thing that I have to do is just discard the changes in LazyGit, and that's it. I'm back to normal. So I highly recommend you to track all of your changes in GitHub or somewhere. Also, if you haven't joined already, I have a Discord server. It's open to the public. There's a lot of discussions going on there, several different things. People that ask for support, people that share different tips, tricks. So if you haven't joined, I'm going to leave the link in the video description. Let me go back to the article and let's see what else do we have here. Just keep this in mind because it's very important. Sync all does not work with multi-line replacement, and ast-grep only supports with replace. And there's something important that you need to keep in mind here as well. Remember that when I typed this expression, I did it in the files filter. So what is the files filter is what you see here. The paths filter, on the other hand, the one shown here at the bottom, notice that this one only accepts fixed paths, as you can see in this section. You're going to see that in a little bit, but just keep that in mind as well. What if, for example, you just want to search the current file, right? If you want to create a key map that automatically search only the current file. Let me show you how to do that real quick. So just going to grab this code that I left here, and I'm just going to paste it here in the command line. And I hit enter here. You're going to notice what happened. It automatically added this file to the path section at the bottom, and I can search for stuff in here. Let's say that, for example, I search for only current file. So I only have this result. Let's say that I search something else that I know that exists in multiple files. I'm going to type here Discord server. For example, notice that it filtered only by this specific file. Where can you find this command or other similar commands? Let me go to this link, cookbook, and this is the plugin that I have been working on in this video. Let me scroll to the very top of the file. You're going to notice the name here is grug-far.nvim. It speaks for itself. I don't need to say any good stuff about it. You noticed in the demo, if you search for a lot of stuff and if you replace, man, this is going to save hours of your time. So if you like this plugin, remember, give it a star. It's a wonderful tool. The developer and creator of this plugin has helped me to understand how it works, best practices, some tips. So that's the reason why I'm making this video. Just wanted to share with you the stuff that you can do with the plugin. So just remember, go and give it a star. And if we go back to the cookbook section, notice that there's a lot of pre-built commands here that you can use. The first one, launch with the current word under the cursor as the search string. If you want to launch with ast-grep engine, that's the second one. Notice this option, launch limiting search replace to current file. And that is what I have here in my terminal. If you pay attention, it's exactly the same thing. So just let me switch back to the cookbook section and let me switch back to the file so you can confirm. If you don't want to be typing this command, you can create a key map, and actually you should create a key map for each one of the items. Of course, if you're going to be using them a lot. What is this ast-grep thing? The only thing that I know about it is that it understands your code. This is the page for ast-grep. Here's some description. It's like syntax aware grep said. You can write code patterns to locate and modify code based on ast in thousands of files interactively. Let me give you a quick example. In one of my files, in my .files, I needed to replace this. So I'm just going to grab this, jump back to my .files here. I'm just going to bring leader SR, and I'm just going to search or type what I copied. Now I'm going to go back to the other file, copy this, and I'm going to paste it in the replace section, right? So notice what I needed to do. I just needed to run this replacement. I needed to remove these colors and the square brackets and just leave the stuff here inside. Notice that it works fine. That is a way of doing it. Don't see any issues with that, but there's a simpler way. Let me go back to my blog post real quick and notice that I'm just going to copy this and I'm just going to paste it here. Let me go back to the file. I'm just going to grab this and I'm just going to paste it here. And there's something else that I need to do. Notice that I left it here. I need to press local letter E to switch the engine to ast-grep. So let me go back to the file. I'm going to press this letter E or local letter E. Notice that it says here ast-grep. So I'm using the correct engine now. And notice that I have the same replacement. It works the exact same way. So it's just simpler. Let me give you another example. Let me go back to the other file. I have the other example here, right? Let's say that, for example, by mistake, I need to replace this forward slash that you see here with a colon inside I require in some Lua files, right? So just gonna grab this, just gonna go back to the other file, gonna paste it here, gonna grab this as well here, I'm going to paste it here. I need to do it on a specific file, so I'm just gonna grab this, sample.lua. I'm going to paste this in the files filter. Notice that it's there. And let's go back here. What else do we need to do? I need to switch the interpreter to Lua, and I also need to switch the engine to ast-grep. So with local leader X, you switch the interpreter, and with E, you switch the engine. So let's just make sure about that. I'm using ast-grep already, as you can see there. I'm just gonna type here local leader X, and notice what happened. On the replace here at the top, you see this Lua in square brackets. So that means that I'm using the right interpreter, and I'm also using the right engine, which is ast-grep. And notice what happened. It's replacing the forward slashes that I had here for colons, but it's only doing it inside this require. Something that you need to keep in mind about this ast-grep is that you need to install it. If you're on macOS, just run this brew command. If you're using a different distro, just make sure that you follow the instructions shown here. There have been times in which I need to do a multi-line replacement and I need to leave some files out, right? So let's say that, for example, I need to search for this, letter SR, after selecting it. Notice that this is a multi-line replacement, right? And let's say that, for example, I need to leave some files out. Nothing fancy here, just specify those files in the files filter. So I'm just gonna grab the name of this file here to give you an idea. And I'm just going to paste it here. And I'm just gonna leave it out. Notice that that did it. I have 52 matches right now. If I delete this, now I have 53 matches, right? What if I want to leave another file out? Just gonna copy this and I'm just going to paste it here again. Just leave this file out. And that's it. I have 51 matches right now and now 53 matches. Just keep this in mind. If we go here to the left-hand side, sync all does not work with multi-line replacement. So that's why I'm doing it this way. I cannot delete the files from the search results. I have to add them in files filter, and then I can replace everything with local leader R. Just in case that you don't remember a flag or a command, just type this help in the flags field. Let me bring that up real quick. Just gonna search for something here, test, it doesn't matter, and I'm just going to type here help, and you're gonna notice here, you can search, let's say if I search for invert, if you wanna invert match, notice that the results are here. There's this flag. In case you want to ignore case, notice that I can see it up there as well. Notice if you scroll to the very top of this, notice also that you can bring up help with G question mark. And you'll be able to see the flags here in case you forget them, like replace, sync, sync line, history, refresh, a lot of stuff. Yesterday I created a new set of colors. Let me know what you think. I'm going to bring it up here. Minty lemon. Just gonna select this color scheme. Notice that even Neovim was restarted. Even Kitty was restarted here on the right hand side. And it also modified my wallpaper. Let me know what you think about these colors. Do you like them? Do you hate them? I don't know. I wanted to test out a color scheme with colors similar to this. Let me switch to this other repo. Just gonna restart this Neovim instance real quick. And let's look at the colors here. There's this file, grug-far.lua. Oh, and by the way, just in case that I forget, here's my configuration for this plugin, grug-far. It already comes with the LazyVim distribution. So if you use LazyVim, we already have this plugin. But if you don't, I'm going to open my .files real quick. Here is the file. I'm going to leave it in the video description as well. And remember that if you like the stuff that you see in my .files, you can give them a star here on the top right corner. Notice that it has around 520 stars already. I have a lot of useful stuff in there, not only related to Neovim. So what else do we have here? If I go back to the blog post article, let me fold all the headings. Let me go to the bottom of the file, get the rep command for a search. Let's say that, for example, you need that, right? So I'm just going to select this and I'm just going to run a search and replace. And notice that if I type here letter P, I can get the search command, the rep search command. Remember that this is one of the flags. If I type G ? You're gonna notice that it's shown here. Where is it? Here it is, toggle show search command, local letter P. Let me see if I'm missing something here. Already covered this, the color scheme. Do you want to see more advanced stuff related to this plugin, or was this enough? The developer is the only reason why all of this has been possible, because he's the one that actually helped me understand how all of this works, and he shared some useful tips. So I just wanted to say thanks. I think I covered all of the stuff that I needed to cover in this video. I don't have anything else for now, as far as I remember. But if I missed something, please let me know down in the comments. If you found this video useful, remember to give it a thumbs up. If you like the channel, subscribe. That's it for today. I'll see you in the next video.